in the battle to come.
Welcome to the Superhero News Network. This week on the Superhero News Network, we got the CW's...
All right.
The CW's Flash. We also got Pepper Potts News, Titans Talk, Johnny's Poll List. We got a reveal from Gotham. And we got news on why Wonder Woman was delayed. Yes, it was delayed cinematically. But before we get into all that, I am Joe. Alongside me, my two culprits this week. Every week, really.
Every week.
Johnny Parker the second.
Jonathan.
It's not the second. It's Johnny Parker 2.
The first of his name?
Johnny Parker Jr. And then Tatiana.
Hello.
Ali. Not Ali.
Very far from Ali. Very far from Ali.
Where is Fresh Prince?
But before we get into all of our superhero goodness, guys, how has your week been? And say something freaking entertaining.
So much pressure.
Well, you just ruined it.
Now.
My God.
If I'm ruining it by saying something
If you just let me be my entertaining self.
Exactly. How about you set the example? Tell us how your week was.
There you go.
Say it
There you go.
so we know how to do it.
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, my week started off probably more epic than the average person.
Oh, okay.
Really not.
I don't like
That's
that.
true.
I'm already off.
Well, that's called an epic weekend. And it started off with karaoke, which both of you were at. You guys remember karaoke?
On Friday.
Last week, yeah.
That was last week.
You guys remember Daniel Nagami
What day
singing
does your
Men in
week
Black?
start?
Exactly.
Weekend. I said weekend. It starts Fridays.
Okay, all right.
So, and then we started with karaoke. That ended up with ramen. That ended up to shenanigans for me. And then it just carried over to the weekend. A weekend filled of haze. I felt like I was living in a Billy Wilder film about chaos and drugs. But it wasn't that dramatic. How was your weekend?
How do you follow that?
Yeah, right?
How do you follow that? All right, well, my weekend was pretty dope. I was at karaoke with you peeps, and which was sick and entertaining. As you already mentioned, Daniel Nagami, his MIB, was freaking amazing. I'm looking forward to
Daniel Jerome had a fan.
He did have a fan. He had a stalker for a little while, too, was interesting. And I'm looking for Daniel Nagami's follow-up performance this week where he says he's going to do Wild Wild West.
Does he really? Does he
my
really know that
goodness.
So
song?
when he see his hand with his hit be at, so that'll be pretty dope. And Saturday I was doing a signing over at Kale. It was like this literary comics arts fair and everything like that. So that was super dope. Got to
Aw.
Kale. It's like Comic Arts and Literary Expo.
Sounds very healthy.
Yeah, pretty much that's what I thought too, but no salad dressing. But it was dope though, and I had a great time. What about
You?
you, Tati?
Well, when I went to karaoke with y'all, that was my first time singing publicly. So,
Really?
yeah, like doing public karaoke because I always do the private ones, the private rooms. So it was very nice to know that I can actually get through a song without being booed off the stage. And now
It was a fun old time. Everybody got up there and sang. We picked the wrong Aladdin song to do.
We did. We picked the wrong
was
Aladdin
awesome.
song, and it was horrible.
was
But
awesome.
even with how horrible that was, they still let us.
I forgot that it was so long.
It was.
You know,
It
I
was
felt
so
like
long.
this is how I was thinking in my head, this is how the Flash must
It was like
hear
we were in
things.
Flash time.
Yeah, it
oh
was
my
like
God.
Flash time. I was like, wow, this
That's
is
really what it
moving-
was like.
It was like
Coming up.
bullet time.
If
Yeah,
you want to
so
experience
slow.
what Barry experiences or what Clark experiences, then play the musical version of A Whole New World.
But guys, we
Because,
love
oh my
talking
God.
superheroes with you. So join the chat. Get out there and share it to your tweet it out. Hey, hi guys, if you tweet it out and use the hashtag SSN for Superhero News Network, we will retweet it. And also
SSN for Superhero News.
SNN. That's what I meant to say. SNN. Like CNN, SNN.
You
Okay.
got this. You got this.
We'll tweet that. We'll retweet it. Also share it on Facebook and all your cool superhero groups.
Yeah, you'll win the prize of my love if you do that.
Hey, question. Halloween's right around the corner. What are you guys dressing up at all? You guys doing anything fun?
I am dressing up as something that I will decide tonight when
Is
I
that
buy it
what
off
Daniel
Amazon.
Nagami's making?
No, probably. You know what? I want to be a Sailor Scout.
Ooh.
I've had a Sailor Mars cosplay outfit for like a billion years, and I never wore it.
I thought you meant like a Sailor Scout, like
Like
a s-
Shipwreck?
No,
G.I. Joe?
like a Sailor Mars, but like one of the Stormtrooper Scouts, like a mashup. That'd be
Okay,
kind of cool.
and that's an
Okay.
interesting thought that you had there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no,
Alright.
I meant Sailor Moon, Sailor Scout. Yes.
What are you gonna be?
I think I'm going to go with my original costume plan as Black Nagami. So it's Black Daniel Nagami.
What does that even look like?
Oh, you'll know it when you see it.
Okay.
You'll know it when
Okay.
you see it. It's going to be pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, I will need proof of that.
That'll be fun. Are you gonna do anything special for Halloween?
Actually, because I like live on a brownstone and everything like that.
A what?
Brownstone, like, you know,
Oh,
where you
yeah.
have things on the front
Fancy.
and everything like that. So actually, I'm just looking forward to like giving out candy to kids. I love giving out candies and quarters and like just like, well, I do. It's fun.
Did you just say I love giving out candy and quarters?
Yes, yeah.
Were you
Candy
the
and
old lady that lives down the block
Dude,
with full
who
apples?
don't like money? Who don't like
That's
money?
true.
There's
Quarters, Johnny?
Yes,
Yeah,
quarters.
just teach them the importance of
Hey
saving
kids,
from
when your
the
parents
start.
ask for laundry money, you know where to come.
Yeah,
What?
exactly.
Let me get this straight. As a 10-year-old, are you going to say yes, no to money?
No,
I
that's
think
true.
I'm going to give
If
out
I was giving out
coupons.
pennies, that would be bad. If I
I'm
was
going
giving
to
out toothbrushes, that would be bad.
give out
Who don't want
coupons for my
quarters?
daily
Coupons.
newspaper. I'm going to cut them out and give them out as treats. Is what I'm going to do.
That's
That sounds-
horrible.
that sounds like torture.
That's like a trick.
Like
That's
literally,
the trick side of things.
like literally, when I did this last year, when I was giving out candy and quarters, Josh showed up at my house.
Well, he needs it.
Yeah,
He
that's
needs
true.
it.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I heard he wanted to volunteer this year, like it was a soup kitchen or something. That's a factor now. That's a
Stop giving out raisins.
hey. That raisins are nature's fruit. So yeah, let's get into this week. That was a lot. It's Halloween, man. It's my favorite time of year. A lot of great
fun.
movies
It's really
are
fun.
coming out right now. I can't believe Venom
It's not
is
butter.
closing in on that $500 million.
Oh, 500 million?
$500
Is
million.
that domestically or worldwide?
I believe it's worldwide, but
Okay.
that's still a lot of money.
Whew, but still, yeah, it's crazy.
That's more money than Justice League made.
That's
my
so
God,
sad.
that
Think
so
about that
bad.
for a second.
Is Venom a better movie than Justice League?
Whoa, good question.
I feel like we got to go hate watch it now.
Now we right?
Like all the hype and what's really
Can
bad
we
is
hate watch it for free though?
yeah, that's a good.
Because I don't want to
point.
contribute to that.
Yeah, that's it. What if we do this? What if we pay for another movie and we just walk into that?
I love it.
There it
I
is.
love it. All right, we're
That
gonna
way we
do
don't
that.
actually contribute
That's
to
what's
it.
happening.
Nah. I'm just kidding. We're gonna talk about some superhero stuff. The Red Sox won. Fuck the Red Sox. Let's say that right now. If you're in Boston, turn off your YouTube. JWS returns as the Flash.
The
John Wesley.
1990s Flash.
No, I thought that. Really?
Yeah, he's returning as Barry Allen
I thought
from
he
the
was returning.
1990s show.
Isn't he already the Flash
He's already
in the show?
Jay Garrick.
Yeah.
That's the
See,
Flash, right?
Yeah, he's a different Flash, Jay Garrick. But now in the crossover, he is going to be Barry Allen, but from the 1990s universe.
So
Yep,
is this?
yep,
So is it
So-
a chance we could still get Tom Welling?
There is a chance they would have hidden it super, super well. I don't know why they would hide that.
Time
So,
out. This picture I'm looking at right here makes Stephen Amell look like a cosplayer.
The fact that JWS looks better in the Flash costume than Stephen Amell, like whoever made this newest Flash costume really hates those actors. Because even Grant doesn't look good in it, poor Grant. And then Stephen Amell is looking rough. And by the
But
way,
again, but that '90s Flash though, he looks legit.
yeah,
he looks
he
legit.
looks badass.
Yeah,
he looks
does.
buff.
He does.
still can get it.
Exactly.
Like
oh, whoa, okay. all right,
Granddaddy
whoa,
Flash.
Whoa.
I'm on board.
Granddaddy Flash is looking like a snack apparently.
Exactly.
Okay.
A
Looking
whole-
like some
a whole
prunes
meal.
up there.
A
Oh
whole
my
meal.
gosh.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Stephen Amell looks like a straight up cosplayer.
He does. He looks
does.
horrible. He looks
He
horrible.
does.
It's
like,
really sad.
Like if I'm kidnapped and sitting by like
You know
some train
what?
tracks.
Grant actually looks good in
The arrow.
In the arrow.
Oh no, he just does.
Like,
he pulls it off.
yeah.
But if I'm like tied up in some train tracks and Stephen Amell shows, like could you send
Please
another
don't
Flash?
save me. Exactly.
Are you the only
I don't
option?
trust you to
He's
save
like, oh
me.
God, why?
Why do
by
you
the
think
way-
he doesn't look good? Why does he not look good in
I
that
think
suit?
because he's literally wearing Grant's outfit. I think because he's wearing Grant's costume.
Oh, it's too small.
They
for
did
him.
exactly. They did
Low
not
key,
make
though.
him a separate costume.
No,
So
they
it's
just-
like when you put on like kids' clothes, or like when your mom goes out in your outfit and
Mm-hmm.
you're like, "Mom, you're not 25 years old. Please stop."
Ooh.
That's what it looks
Ooh,
like.
It's just rough. It's just
That
rough.
sucks. Why are you giving promotion to some cosplay company? Yeah, it does look like it does totally look like a cosplay. I'm not a big fan of it, but I am a big fan of other pictures that came out about the crossover, and that was Superman saving Lois Lane.
Yes!
Anybody see that stuff?
I saw that. I was so excited.
I can't wait.
I'm really excited to see Clark and Lois together in some capacity in this universe. I am not excited that it doesn't seem like I'm going to get an Iris, Lois, and Kara scene because I was thinking like, hello, we've got them. I'm going to kill you.
Iris sucks. That's why.
Iris does not suck. Iris is awesome.
Can
but
they?
I
Can
really
she
wanna
do?
see
Can she switch with Patty? Do you think that could happen in this crossover?
No, she's not going to do that. But you know who is going to switch?
We gotta-
Iris, Barry, and Oliver are going to switch. Barry and Oliver are going to switch, and
Really?
Iris.
Oh my
I'm pretty
God.
sure that we're going to get some Candace and Steven action.
Ooh.
Because Steven tweeted like, "Oh, crossover quote of the day. Iris, my name is Barry. No, my name is Oliver Queen. I think that was something like that. I don't remember what it was. And then she was like, "But you look like Barry Allen to me."
We got a
So,
super chat. Toku Kid says they're paying off the flash clips from the portal. All the flash clips from the portal. You know, like that when he saw the different timelines.
Oh yeah, because we
Oh.
saw the '90s Flash
Yeah,
in that,
yeah.
in the season 1 finale. I
Well,
like
we
that.
should see. Do you think we'll end up seeing any other? I honestly think the most iconic of all the shows to show up would be Tom Welling as
Yes,
Superman.
that
That'd be dope. That'd
Like
be
a
sick.
Kingdom Come style Superman.
That'd be dope with the black S and everything like that.
I mean, he's
coming
no
down.
spring chicken. Tom Welling's in his mid-40s.
Oh yeah, no, I just don't like Kingdom Come. That's why I said.
Why?
Because I hate dead women for man pain. Surprise!
I don't know. What did you
Lois
just say?
Lane. Lois Lane
Yeah.
is dead in Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
So for Superman's man pain.
Woman-
Therefore,
woman
I
with
don't like
refrigerator.
it. Exactly. But anyway, yes, Tom Welling Superman would be amazing.
But it's a
Let me
pretty
ask
good
you-
story. You gotta admit, Kingdom Come is a pretty good story.
Sure. But like, Killing Joke is a pretty good story. That doesn't mean that I
Killing
like
Joke's an okay story. I think Killing Joke's
Really?
super
Sure.
overrated.
I
Yeah,
guess,
Really? I
I
like
guess
Killing Joke
Kingdom
a lot.
Come is a slightly better story than Killing Joke.
I
But
think-
either
look,
way,
the ending
I
was
don't like
so
either
epic.
of them.
I
so
don't
memorable.
I don't disagree with you, but my whole thing is this. I think there's certain and I was just having this conversation with a few other people here the other night.
All right.
But honestly, I think that there's certain books that are extremely overrated by the mass majority. And granted, I understand their place in comic book history. However, I also realize that some of those books are really relevant for the times and not necessarily
You know, they're not timeless classics to you.
to me. I understand that, like The Watchmen.
Right.
I understand that The Watchmen is a classic. It's a well-written book for sure,
course.
but it's not as relatable as it was in 1985. And I read that book in like 2006.
But see, I agree with you. I think that's the problem. As you said, it's like it's good for a lot of times. Those things are good for the time because some of those things are so influential.
Right.
They influence a lot of other things. Like for example, like Identity Crisis. Like if you've read Watchmen, when you read Identity Crisis, a lot of my friends were like, "Dude, it's just Watchmen all over again." They're like hitting some of the same notes and everything like that. So I think that. So I agree with you. But I think that's the reason why it's problematic because some of those things are so influential they trickle down to other things.
I agree.
Right.
But I think something like Kingdom Come is a little bit more timeless.
Because it's why? Because it's separated, so
Because
separated from it.
because
or?
the story can be told in any time period. Whereas in The Watchmen, it's a commentary specifically on 1985.
That's interesting.
Well, it is. It's a
Yeah.
legit commentary.
Yeah.
On
No,
the-
no, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. I know that that's true. I'm saying that's interesting that that's why you like it's
kinda
literally
like
timeless
The
because
Dark
it can be at
Knight-
any
The
time, but
Dark
that
Knight
doesn't mean
Returns?
that
The
it's
Dark
not
Knight-
relevant in the future.
The
even
Dark
though
Knight
it's-
Returns is extremely relevant to 1989 and
Right.
the 1990s era. I'm not saying it doesn't have themes that can transcend,
Okay.
but I'm saying that it's way more prominent in the Ronald Reagan era America.
Oh yeah, the Long Halloween. That one was epic. I totally agree.
Long
Long Halloween is one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah,
Halloween
that's
is
dope.
epic,
Yeah.
and it's also timeless. But let's move on to the next topic. Pepper Potts in the rescue costume. We got a couple Avengers stories. Fun tidbit here is that Pepper Potts posted a picture. This is a spoiler for
That sounds
Avengers
like
4.
a tongue twister.
Pepper Potts posted a picture. And it is in the rescue armor, so it looks like we are definitely getting rescued. Now, we saw glimmers of this in Iron Man 3.
Yes.
See, this is, but see, this is the reverse side of what you had just
That's
said.
literally what I was going to say. This is the opposite. These are things I do like.
But it's interesting, though, because this
Yeah.
only serves a purpose if Iron Man's not there, but Iron
Yeah.
Man's a stronger character, period.
Sure, but like that's it's still nice to see empowering herself, right? Even if it's something Tony made for her, so that she can protect herself, so she can protect their child.
If there is a child
Yes.
to be protected.
Pretty sure that there is going to be a child to be protected, but it's I like seeing her. I enjoyed her little turn rescuing Tony in Iron Man 3 for however long it lasted. So I'm interested to see how they're going to do that, presumably in the 5 years flash forward.
I think that it's cool that we're going to get Pepper's rescue. Mm-hmm. However, I could really care less about the character.
And see, Pepper's one of my favorites. I love Pepper.
See,
See.
I'm not a huge Pepper fan, I guess.
I'm low key with Joe here. Like when I saw that, I was like, cool, cool.
Yeah, like it's.
But if it had been Riri Williams or like Ironheart,
I
I'm like,
agree.
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, of course.
oh yeah,
I would
let's
love.
go.
I would love. I
Iron
hope
all
that
the
we
way.
get. I
Like,
hope
would've
we
been,
get
like, a little-
Ironheart in like the next wave of heroes.
Yeah.
At the same time that we get Kamala Khan, for example. I would love to see that team up. But yeah.
Because that's the thing. Because like with Rescue just seemed like something that just happened in the books. It wasn't this epic, or it's like
Yeah, I
it's
mean-
like
Yeah.
yeah, and
It's like giving Happy Hogan a suit. Like, I could care less.
Yeah,
Right, that's the
low-key,
thing. Like for
low-key.
me, I don't care about it in terms of comic books. I literally haven't even. I think I've read like one issue where she was rescued in the comics. I don't
Exactly.
care. But I care about it from a character perspective in the movies because we've already seen that evolution for her in Iron Man 3, and we already know like we saw how it was for her to be left behind by Tony in Infinity War. And she doesn't like She doesn't like him being in danger, but at the same time, she doesn't like being on the outs. So it's nice to see him bring her in to some capacity.
If that's what happens.
If that's what happens. Or she takes it herself. I don't know. We don't have no idea
That
what's
could
going
be
to happen.
after Iron Man dies and she's one of the new Avengers.
Even better, but that's not going to happen.
See,
That would never
why
happen.
would that be even better?
No, I'm joking. I'm saying because it would be the reverse of what I just said.
Pepper Potts is not as strong as a character as Tony Stark.
It doesn't matter if she's a strong of character or not. You can build on the character. She doesn't start that strong, right? Of course, Pepper Potts isn't as strong of a character as Tony Stark. Like, she wasn't made to be. But if you were to try to make her be, then eventually she would have to get stronger as a character.
I think that's super. I don't agree.
Well,
with that.
either. Anyway, it doesn't matter because it's not going to happen.
It won't happen. You know why?
It's like a cow. Moo.
It's not going to happen. However,
It's
there
not
was
a cow.
also another big reveal this week about Avengers 4. Number one,
what?
Crossbones coming back in a flashback.
Really?
Frank Grillo revealed today that he said that, yes, Crossbones is coming back. I already shot it, and I can say whatever I want because I'm never doing another Marvel movie ever again.
Respect.
That was his pretty much exact quote.
That's savage right there.
I do want to talk I want to stay on this Avengers thing for a little bit. Let's talk about theories going into Avengers 4. Because one of the best kept secrets in Hollywood is what Avengers 4 is all about.
Right.
I actually think I've cracked the code here.
Really?
I do.
Okay, all right.
But I think that I know a lot about this movie. But I'm curious to see what you guys think is going to be happening in Avengers 4.
Okay.
Johnny.
So we talk now? Oh, okay.
Right, yeah. I thought he was going to give us his theories, and then he was like,
you
no.
guys give me your theories first.
So, again, I think time travel is going to play a big role in
Yep.
this. We kind of talked about these will take place like 4 years in the future, but when this is all said and done, the timeline is going to kind of like reset, and they're going to go back in time. And some people are going to go back, like like Spider-Man, for example, will go back a bit, go to high school. But for example, some people like hopefully, I'm fingers crossed, I'm thinking Ant-Man's daughter will be part of this in some way. But when they go back in time, she'll still be like a teenager or something like that. Because again, it would be cool like to set her up as going like forward so they can do Young Avengers and everything like that. So I feel like time travel is going to play like a little bit of a role where everything's going to like be 5 years in the future, but everything's going to kind of reset back to that moment where he snapped his fingers.
But you still get to keep the stuff that you like from
Some of it,
Avengers
that's
Say
what
that
4.
one more time again.
So it's like this. Remember how we talked about the new Spider-Man movie, The Field Trip or whatever?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If this movie's taking place 5 years in the future and they get Spider-Man back, that means technically like Mary Jane, his best friend, they've all graduated high school. So it doesn't make any sense for them like for them to go back to high school at that point because none of those people will be there. So that's telling me that at some point, if Avengers is taking 5 years in the future, at some point they have to go back in time to the moment where he snapped his fingers.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because we have to get back the people that we lost.
Exactly. And we also have to get back those years because Spider-Man has to go back to high school and everything.
Yeah.
like that.
People
course.
in the chat, let us know what you think about Johnny's Avengers 4 theory. What's yours?
I guess I just have like smaller picture stuff because big picture, I totally agree with you. Like we're gonna go forward and then back in time, but keep some of the elements that we saw moving forward. But I also think that Gamora being in the Soul Stone has to be like an important part of stopping Thanos. First off, I really want Nebula to have an integral part in stopping her dad because her abuse at his hands was such an important part of her character and the entire Guardian story. And then it didn't sit right with me that it worked to kill Gamora because that was something he loved because I don't believe that Thanos really loves her. So I hope that that's something that can be reversed in the sense of like because it wasn't a real sacrifice for him, it doesn't actually work all the way.
So here's my theory.
And I gotta say, I do like that because that's dope though, because it gives her more character moments and it builds up Nebula more and everything like that. And she's kind of rushing getting her sister back, which is cool.
Yes.
What's your theory, Joe?
So number one, I think that first I'm going to walk you through my whole thing.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Yes, let's sit back and relax.
Number one. Number
One.
one, I think I have it on good authority that they're going to release the first 11 minutes of the film.
When?
Around Wreck-It Ralph time.
Oh, okay.
I have it on good authority.
Okay.
They're going to release the first 11 minutes of the film.
Good authority.
However, every trailer for Avengers 4 is going to be based on just those 11 minutes. So you're not going to understand anything else
okay.
going on.
Okay,
All
that
right,
makes sense.
okay.
So the trailers will come first, and then the 11 minutes.
No. The 11 minutes is going
going
to come first, and
then
every
all the
trailer
trailers are
is
gonna
going to be
Based
made
on
from
those,
that
it'll be
11
shot from
minutes.
those 11 minutes.
Okay.
That does make sense though because you don't want to reveal like who's coming back.
Right.
Exactly.
So
right.
that kind of keeps your edge of shows. I mean for sure, we know Spider-Man's coming back. We know Black
Well,
Panther's coming back.
here's my theory. So actually, this is going to be a little bit of a shocker for you.
Okay, number two. Number two, phase 2 now.
So here's my theory. In Doctor Strange, Wong tells Doctor Strange, don't mess too much with the time stone because two things can happen. You can wipe yourself out of existence, or you can create another branch in reality.
Oh, so
I
you think
think
he's going to
when-
create another branch?
I think Thanos already created that branch with the snap, and
Okay.
everybody's in that other branch.
Okay.
And if you actually look at every Avengers title, from Avengers, obviously, from Age of Ultron, from Infinity War.
Okay.
And everyone's saying it's Annihilation. I don't think it's Annihilation. I actually think the next Avengers title might be Avengers Incursion. And the reason I think that is because the book that is largely based on Infinity War is not actually Infinity War. It's called Infinity by Jonathan Hickman. The second part of that book is Incursion, and the third part, it could be called Secret War also. The reason why is because in Secret War, they have universes that merge together.
Oh, okay.
Or they have to pick and
Right,
save.
right.
I
So,
know where
you,
you're
so we're
going.
going
I
to
think in
merge
that-
back parallel.
Well, I think in that reality that he creates,
Yeah.
a lot of those heroes are there,
Right.
and they're going to end up... And I think that in the quantum realm, the heroes are going to travel through the quantum realm between dimensions.
Okay.
And one of those dimensions, I think, is when they're going to get some of their heroes. So, for example, the Spider-Man that we're seeing in Far From Home, I think that's a double entendre. I think it's because
It's a different universe.
it's a different universe of
Oh,
Spider-Man
no.
that we're going to get in the MCU.
That would be so sad.
I'm telling
I
you
would
right
hate-
now.
I would be so upset.
That's
if
why he's
what
going to have a
happened.
different suit also. And I think that this Spider-Man is
Now I'm
going to
stressed.
be... It's going to be Far From Home because this is far from what everybody else remembers.
Oh my god.
And I think
Okay.
that the only Avengers that are really going to remember it are the original 6. And not all of them are going to come back.
Right.
That's
I
my
mean,
theory.
So we assume that Captain America is going to be done, right?
I think that Captain America won't be done. I think
You think he
Captain
won't be done?
No, well, I think a lot of people speculated that his tweet about leaving. I think that's a misdirection. I think that that's more of a tweet about not working with all those same people again. I think that Captain America is actually going to stay in the 1940s and get his dance with Peggy Carter so they can pull him back whenever they need him.
Because I was going to say I think he's going to end in like a parallel universe or whatever with
But
Peggy elsewhere.
here's the
but
reason
to
why I
be
think
done.
this alternate universe thing works.
Okay.
Because if they do have to write Captain America out of history, there can already be another Captain America that had his place, whether
Right.
that be Bucky, whether that be
Yeah.
the Falcon, and that's why I think that we're going to get this kind of incursion or crossing of the universes by the end of Infinity
Yeah.
War, and it's going to reset things. And also, a lot of people said, "Oh, well, they reshot a lot." I mean, there's a lot of stuff of them traveling back in time with the old pictures of the New York, the Battle of New York, right? I actually don't think that was traveling back in time. I think they're reshooting that for the alternate universe.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, like Battleworld, we're gonna get to see some of that. I think we're gonna.
Battleworld.
I'm telling you, I think this is where we're headed.
Okay.
See.
I mean, I like the idea of there being branching off in different universes, but I don't like the idea of the heroes that we get being ones that we haven't.
It's not called Far From Home
experienced
because
with.
it's taking place in England. That's not. It's called Far From, just like Homecoming.
It's Far From
was
Homecoming.
yeah, it was technically a homecoming.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was really called Homecoming because it was Spider-Man, the character, coming home. You got to read into these a little bit more.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
Far From Home is literally going to mean like it's far from what we remember that Spider-Man being.
Okay.
I think.
Here's the thing.
It's going to piss a lot of people off, but I think it's what's going to happen.
Serious thing. I do like the multiverse theory because the cool thing about that is that one, it gives us the potential to get Miles Morales. It gives us the
yes.
potential to be maybe Kamala Khan. It's a cool way to introduce a new wave of heroes into the world. And it opens the possibility for their new phase. And
But it
going
also
forward and
opens
everything
up the
like
possibility of the X-Men
True.
and the Fantastic Four.
Right.
Exactly.
That
So
they
which is
come
dope.
from other universes.
Because if we say like,
Yeah.
hey, these characters already existed there, and then we get the best of it all kind of merging together, it's going to be like, well, mutants were always here.
that. Right. Low key. Oh my gosh. Jersey would get this, but it's low key like how we watch Kamen Rider Build. And Kamen Rider Build, for those people watching that has the exact same premise. Their world gets so destroyed, they have to merge their Earth with another Earth. And so all of a sudden they have like copies of people and everything like
Right.
that towards the end and everything. So it's low key like, shout out to Toku.
So here's a
everything
question
like
from
that.
Eric Z. Question, Joseph, in your theory, how will they defeat Thanos, and how will Captain Marvel play into it? Well, let me tell you. I think that Captain Marvel is in the quantum realm, and I think that that's because if you notice in Captain Marvel, her movie takes place in the 1990s,
Yeah.
where she is not aged a day when she ends up in Avengers 4. I think that they're going to pull her from the quantum realm, and she's going to figure out how to traverse to the universes with the other Avengers. Actually, and if you look at the suits that they created, or the toys that they had with Thor and Rocket, they look a lot like Hank Pym's suit when he went in Ant-Man and the Wasp when he went into the quantum
Okay.
realm.
Yeah.
Low key though, yeah,
I
he's
think
right.
that this is all what's going to happen. And I also think how they beat Thanos, I think Thanos actually is going to realize he fucked up, and they're going to have to team up with the Avengers to beat the Thanos that's a part of this other universe. Or Annihilus, because it could be Annihilus.
Right.
I mean, well, two things. One, I think you're right with the quantum realm thing because here's the thing: a lot of people miss it. But in the Ant-Man, when he shrinks down, when Hank Pym goes to get his wife, he low-key goes by like the microverse right there.
Yeah.
You see like the little H of like city right there, and now that Scott is like literally stuck in there. I mean, what's he going to do? Probably go to that same place. And so that gives him a chance to team up with them and come back. And then the second part of that, too, is that, like, you're right, because the way the suits are looking and everything like that, it looks like they're having to go string down. And in the original Infinity Gauntlet, what happens, Thanos is the one who kind of resets the universe. And so it kind of will come full circle, and it'll kind of, like, pay homage to that story. I like your theory. It could work.
So far, so good.
But to say what I didn't like was, like, earlier on, I did not enjoy the last Secret Wars that came out with their Battle War and everything like that. So it's just elements of that I didn't like. But your theory, it holds water.
I'm thinking this is what we're going for. I think this is what Avengers 4 is all about. And I think that, look, this is the first time I've really kind of like had this, but I think that like it makes the most sense. Like that's why Spider-Man's working, and that's why S.H.I.E.L.D.'s back in the forefront, because they don't have to hide, because this is another universe. This is all different.
So I guess it's like, my question is, are the 6 that we know, right? Or the
are they going to live?
Well, not that are they going to live, but is it that the worlds have merged, so
I wouldn't say merge. I think you're gonna merge is the wrong word. I think that they're gonna have to choose one to live and one to die.
Okay. So they're gonna have to choose. So in your version, are they choosing our world but with new characters brought in, and so it's Peter who is far from his home in this new one?
I think.
Or are they going into another one?
I think that they're gonna bring in some of these characters that are gonna help in our world, and they're gonna stay in our world.
But at the same time, things like S.H.I.E.L.D. suddenly being out in the open will
change everything. It's gonna change everything.
And low-key cleans up everything too, though. It gives S.H.I.E.L.D. a restarting point, so we get S.H.I.E.L.D. back.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, how does S.H.I.E.L.D. restart in our world?
But it also, here's the difference too, is that it also helps you with the chance to recast.
Right.
Because if they look different in another universe, they can just be like, oh, so-and-so's playing Iron Man now.
Yeah.
So this gives them a clean slate. And like I said, it brings in mutants to this universe.
Not only that, though, but oh my God. Crap. So here's the thing.
Every time that he says mutants, you're like, my mind is blown again.
Well, no, because here's the thing. Because here's the thing. If they're only showing us those first 11 minutes, that means anything else they can do whatever they want. That means low key towards in the movie, all of a sudden Robert Downey Jr. is just replaced by another actor,
right?
And then all of a sudden we just accept it because again they're going to
they came
universe.
From a different universe.
Exactly. And all of a sudden they can literally do whatever they want to set their new universe, and they've explained it all in one film.
Exactly.
This film is literally their transition point from like the end of the old universe to the beginning of their new universe.
Exactly. Kind of like how when you got all this Marvel material in the comics, and then it changes because they did this whole secret.
Holy crap! It's a new number one.
It's a new number one.
Yeah.
It's a new number one. It is literally a new number one.
This is my
Metaphors.
Guess. It's my guess. So actually, I want to move on. I know. Go ahead, Johnny.
Here's the only thing though. I love the theory. Do you think
I hate the theory, but I just think it's what's going to happen.
But let me ask you this: do you think the average movie-going audience is going to be able to follow that? Because we're all comic nerds.
I do.
But do you think Billy Joe and his mom going in watching this, we understand all this?
Yeah, I think you follow it with like one expository scene, right? You'd be like, "This is the multiverse." Draw some circles.
Right.
We're gonna pull some characters from this one.
Do some Doc Brown type
stuff.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, I'm on board.
I mean, if they were able to understand, I don't know. I feel like they're going to.
Okay.
And I also think that Marvel doesn't underestimate its audience. And that's
true.
like, when you underestimate the audience is when you end up actually confusing them more than just letting them go along with the ride.
And then at the same time, though, I mean, Marvel's done like 20-some-odd movies. They've kind of taught their audience how to think in comic book terms, whereas DC didn't do that, and that's the reason we ran into so many problems.
So here's another question by Eric Z. You actually got great questions, Eric. I think he says, Joseph, will Tony's vision of the future in Age of Ultron play out in the battle, Avengers 4 Battle in Space? Actually, I think all of the visions that played out are playing out now. That are playing out. Sorry, I think all of the visions from Age of Ultron are already happening, and two are left to the future. So let's talk about the visions real quick. I know we're going to spend a little bit more time here than we wanted to, but I'll move on after this. So Tony Stark saw all the Avengers dead in space.
Yes.
Right.
Well, isn't that what happened in
It's
Infinity
exactly
War?
what happened.
Yeah.
Infinity
So
War.
it already happened.
So that already happened in Avengers 3. I think, it was a different group of characters, but it still happened.
Cap's vision. What was
Cap's vision was he stays back in time and gets his dance.
And that's what you think his ending is.
And I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
I agree with that. That's definitely his ending.
With Thor, it was Asgard falling,
which has already happened.
Exactly what happened.
Okay.
With Black Widow, you see her going through the paces of becoming the Black Widow, and if you read the synopsis of her solo movie, that's exactly what the story that we're telling is her origin story.
Right. Okay.
The only people that we didn't see visions for were the Hulk and Hawkeye.
Because they don't get movies and they're not important.
Well, it's because Hawkeye, I think, like I said, he's going to come back as Ronin. His family's probably disappeared in this incursion, or in this whole thing. And what's going to happen is he's going to sacrifice himself because he has nothing else to live for. But once he gets his family back, Natasha's going to be like, I still have red in my ledger. I'm going to sacrifice myself for you. And I think that because with them announcing a Black Widow movie, you think she's safe, but she is not. I think she
'cause
will
it's
die,
Norton. Yeah.
and Ronin/Hawkeye will live on. The
Okay.
Hulk, on the other hand, I don't know where that's going to go. But we're hopefully going to find out, and I think that we're going to find out very soon.
And I think the thing about this, a Hulk is easy a chance because people just accept new Hulk actors at this point.
Yeah,
Exactly.
They
right.
just
Matthew
like-
Thompson says all new, all different MCU.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Titans, Johnny. And this is kind of where you guys shine because you're a DC expert, and Johnny loved the Titans.
You
So-
love the Titans?
You liked it. You liked it, right?
No, he likes. Okay, DC Universe. Okay, let's talk about the show. Who else watching the show right now? Like, I know not everyone has DC Universe. But,
I've seen it. I thought it was okay.
Made a list.
You made a list of what you don't like?
Okay.
Or what you do like.
First,
He has nothing on his list.
I was wrong. I went into this saying this was going to be crap baskets. Literally, 20 minutes in, I'm like, this is hot fire.
Wow.
This is
20
kind of
minutes into the
awesome.
first episode?
Like, I gotta admit, like, I was
Oh,
wrong.
wow.
Wait,
All right.
spoiler alerts, by the way, too, because
Yeah,
we
we're
might,
gonna talk
we
about the
might
first three
Spoiler
spoil
alerts.
some of this.
Spoiler
We're
alerts.
going to talk about the first 2 episodes. Just kidding.
So yeah, so I gotta be real. Like I started watching this, I was just like, damn, this is kind of hot. Like here's the thing,
Mm-hmm.
Robin was on point.
I love
Like that
Lila
scene in
Garrett.
the alley when he likes going at them and everything like that. I'm just like, dude, that is Robin. It
I
was
thought
so
the
badass.
choreography was really cool.
Yeah, I love. No, what I really loved
Mm-hmm.
is like I love how they really built this universe because the moment he pops down, what does all the crooks start doing? Where's Batman?
Right.
Where's Batman? Which is like that's what they would do.
Super
that's Legends with them.
chat. Toku says, I like the new Raven, but Robin is a little dry.
Thank you, Toku Kid. Thank you.
man.
I feel that. Because when I watched that trailer, I was like, Raven looks like garbage. I'm so sad right now.
Really?
Yeah, and then I watched the shows, and I was like, Raven is the best thing about this
She
show
is.
right now.
She's so
like,
good.
Raven's keeping the show
Dude,
together.
like here's the thing. I love how they because there's like, my whole complaint going into
Yeah.
Joe remembers was that how are you going to do the Trigun storyline again with the way you're doing like this like little emo goth girl who's like
Yeah.
a Japanese like horror villain monster or whatever, but they end up pulling it off. I'm like, oh shit, secret code. They've been
Yeah,
doing all this stuff.
right.
Shoot
Like,
the mom.
everyone's out
Wait,
to
we
get-
just shot the mom.
That
Oh,
was
we're
so,
on board.
that
We're
was so
wobbling,
upsetting.
clicking with gas
That was
right
so
now.
upsetting. But yeah, but like she's actually really mature. Like normally you'd expect someone in her position to be like screaming, crying, like running out into the wilderness to get herself lost and or kidnapped because she's mad at Dick. But instead she's like, Dick, you're being a dick, and I am tired of it.
Exactly.
Get your act
I
together.
can't
Exactly.
take anybody
Like, here's the
seriously
thing.
if their name's Dick. It's weird saying it out loud.
So here's the thing. We're just going to talk about the first 2 episodes. Is it cool? We're cool. We jump around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to go with your point though, I love that point in episode 2 where like the money's found. Any other like CW show or anything like that, it was like, I found the money. I'm going to leave. Yeah, bye, Barry.
Yeah, no, right, but like
here,
not
but
even
here.
I like how
CW,
you
even
intentionally
Gotham.
shit on the
Right.
Flash.
No, but like honestly, like even
what you got
Gotham,
about?
like Bruce Wayne on Gotham did exactly that. You're fired from being my guardian, Alfred. Like,
Exactly. Like what? What?
Yeah.
Huh? And so that was garbage. And now
Yeah.
here's the other thing I liked about this. Like seriously, while I will agree with you, Robin's acting and like Dick Grayson's character is a little bit dry and everything like that. The one thing I will say is I love the fight scenes, everything like that.
Yeah.
And every time I watch this, I low key get angry because I'm like, damn it, we could have a Batman TV show.
So the
Right.
thing that impresses me the most about this show is actually the costumes and the look of the show. I think that every costume looks so good.
It
And
does.
a lot of people are giving Starfire shit. She's my favorite character. in the
Starfire
show.
is awesome.
I think
Starfire's
she's
awesome.
great.
Yeah, it's because people saw like an ugly filming picture,
Yeah.
and then they decided to crap all over Anna Diop for that
Anna
as an
Diop
excuse
is a
to be
great
racist.
Starfire.
Yeah.
Because that's the only reason that they are doing it. She's great, like you said, she's a great Starfire.
I love
and I
her
love that she
as
brings
Starfire.
like levity to
And
the
there's
show.
my girl, Lila Garrity.
Lila Garrity.
She is
Yes.
beautiful.
What
I
is
love
like
her.
Garrity from? Like when I saw, I was like, you look
Friday
like
Night
Friday
that.
Night
Lights.
Lights.
Friday Night Lights.
Which one was she on Friday Night
She's
Lights?
Lila
Lila.
Garrity.
She's the
Minka
girlfriend
Kelly?
of the paralyzed guy who.
Oh, thank you. Okay, there it is. Gotcha. I forgot.
So she came in our room in New York Comic Con, and
Yeah.
me and Jezer almost fainted.
Aw.
Really?
Yeah,
I
we,
really,
we
you know
were
what?
too scared to ask her for a picture because it's Lila Garrity.
I
and
love
she
her
was
as an
beautiful.
actress, and I love her for standing up for Anna when she was getting crap.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
She was
It
like
was
the
super cool.
first and only cast member who really stood up for
And you know
her.
who won me over? Alan Richardson,
Really?
whatever his name is.
Really, Rich Richardson. He does a good job, but I hate Hawk. I hate his character.
What you're supposed to? You're supposed
hate
to
his
though.
character.
I thought you
supposed
said
to, though.
something else. Did it not sound like she said something else? It sounded like you said something else.
It doesn't work. His doesn't work, so I guess I don't like that.
Oh!
So-
We're just
Anyway,
throwing
so
shade
the
this
fact-
episode.
I mean, the thing, the fact that he is so like emasculated by Dick because of his dick is so embarrassing to me.
Are we still PG?
I can't stand
not
him.
anymore. fuck it. And so like,
TV-14.
and like to go
It's
back.
his name. I'm sorry.
Dick Grayson. And like, and again, they set everything up really well. Like their relationship and how it's played off and everything like that is so dope. And it's like you're there kind of like rooting for him. Like, okay, this one last job, then you get out. And then Dove, she is like the calm one of this and everything. Like, and here's saying, look, it was really dope because a lot of times these superhero shows get bogged down to origin stories. They didn't even do an origin story.
Right.
It's like, here are two heroes. They're out here in the world. We'll fill
Here's
the stuff
3
in later.
flashbacks.
But
Go.
Yeah.
I think that it's a toss-up whether or not they're better portrayed than the Just League Unlimited episode. Because I was like, dude, I love Hawk and Dove. Like, I love their interaction. Like, it seemed very true to some of the comics. And Titans.
Yeah, I will say this too though, like low key though, I'm loving Robin's costume. I love
I think it's great.
I love all the fight scenes. But as soon as I watch it, I was thinking of
Tim
you.
Drake. It's Tim
Exactly,
Drake. Tim Drake,
exactly.
yeah.
I was just like, this sucks because it's pretty much low key just all of Tim Drake's costume.
Yeah.
Like if you're loving the Robin throwing star, Tim Drake. You're loving the bow staff, Tim Drake.
I
You're
feel
loving
like
the cape, Tim Drake.
He
It's all
basically
those great
has
things.
Jason's personality in Tim Drake's stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
there's no
very little
glimmer of
Grayson.
dick in there.
There's very little Grace in there.
No, there's very little dick in there.
It's very
Ba-dum-bum.
Hey,
PG-13.
this is a real thing.
It's his name.
All right, so I got to ask you guys go ahead, John.
Just one thing. Go back to Starfire.
Yes.
Dude, like we talked about, she's received so much hate and everything like that. And I'd be real, when I first saw like the hair and everything like that, I was like, look, I'm on board and supporting her, but the hair does look a little janky to me. But watching it is like, it just grew on me.
Right.
Like more and more with episodes and everything like that. And like we said, I love how she is because what's dope is, again, spoilers, she has amnesia, but I love the fact that like, even though she has amnesia, she's not a weak character.
Right.
Like that warrior alien training is all still there.
Exactly,
So every
yeah.
time she encounters somebody, she's like putting the
And
work
she
on
doesn't
them.
care. Yeah, she doesn't care.
No,
She just does what she wants.
Like here's the thing, like that assassin that dude she encounters in her hotel room, she's like, "Tell me the information, I'll let you go."
Yeah.
And Dust, she's like, "No."
Another super
Warrior
chat.
gotta kill
Toku
you.
Kid says nuclear family is strange for this tone,
Yeah.
but okay.
Nuclear Family is probably my least favorite thing about the show thus far, but we'll see
Well,
where
I
they
do
go.
want to talk about, because we haven't seen him very much, but I think I can't wait till we see him in all of his glory as Beast Boy.
Yes.
Like,
I was
he's
kind of
not
sad
in a
that we haven't
time.
gotten much
Yeah.
from
But
him
I do
yet,
like that he turns green when he turns into the animal.
Yeah.
I
He does.
dig
No,
it.
no. Here's the thing. I was worried about that too, but when I saw it, I was like, I like this Beast Boy. I love the fact that he was just still in video games. And what's interesting here too is like I love the pacing of it right now because they don't feel rushed. Like we have to throw everybody in by this point.
Right.
And what's cool too is like if this was a CW show, I would feel like by this first
Why
episode,
do you hate the
They'd all
CW
be
so
together.
much?
yeah, they'd all be together, but they would have to establish Dick's love interest, and he would have to be like interested in some girl and all that stuff. But they don't do any of that. It's like, no, we're just going to tell the story and do like a slow boil type situation.
Although
I
I will
dig
say
that.
that the past for Dove and Dick was super unnecessary, and I don't think it added to like the romantic.
Oh,
past
yeah,
I mean. It didn't
100%. I
add to the
agree.
plot. Like it would have been exactly the same and better if he had just abandoned Dove and Hawk, and that's why they were mad at him in different ways.
But I
Yeah.
do like the
But-
fact that you're right, because it feels like they're building towards that. You want to see them team up now.
Exactly.
You're building towards that. I think the show, I mean, nothing against the CW. I think that Titans, though, on the DC universe, is doing the DC TV stuff right.
It is.
They're
I
not
agree.
rushing anything. Whereas I feel like I would say that most of those CW shows, with the exception of Black Lightning, are really rushing through their storylines.
I will
I mean,
also-
you got an episode about Rebirth. It was only like 40 minutes about Rebirth. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
yeah.
So.
And the way, yeah, well, we don't talk about Flashpoint right now, but
Oh, that's what I meant. Flashpoint. That's what I
Yeah,
meant.
I knew that's what you meant. That's why I was like, okay, but yeah.
and also like again, it's been a while since I've said it, but I feel I need to say it, every couple episodes. Fuck Gotham, because again, this kind of shows how bad Gotham is. Because again, the way they interpret like Dick's character right here and like the fighting and everything like that, it's like, dude, why don't you just do a Batman show? Because again, it would be so dope to see Batman doing all these different
Why
things.
don't they do a Batman show?
Well, they-
though?
Joe, why don't they do a Batman
Like
show?
I don't get it.
I don't know. I think that you're more than likely going to get a Batman show like now
Yeah,
than you would
because like
when
even
they signed Ben
even in
Affleck.
Titans, it's like here's Bruce's shadow, and
Yeah.
here's this therapist talking about Bruce.
I don't know. I think that a Batman show though kind of not discredits. That's the wrong word. But it doesn't make the film as special. I feel like because especially if you're having.
It doesn't make Batman versus Superman as special.
No, it just doesn't make any future Batman movie as special. Because let me ask you this: if a Batman TV show was really good, and then you got Ben Affleck, are you still going to go pay millions of dollars to go see Ben Affleck?
Well,
As
I
an
wouldn't pay
audience?
millions of
I'd
dollars.
watch
We're-
Ben
I
Affleck.
mean,
I would pay.
Would
I would pay
an audience
$12.
though? Would an audience?
If they
though?
cast Ben Affleck in Jaws, I'd just say he could play the shark, but that's just me.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying is like I think that when you have the same character competing for the same exact brand,
You mean like
makes
they're doing
it
the
very
Flash
different.
show and the Flash movie?
Exactly, and I think that was a huge mistake. And I honestly think that
And that's why God said no. And he pushed that
Yeah,
Flash
look at that
movie
Flash
back.
movie. Look what it's doing now. But it makes sense. All right, let me ask you this: if they brought in like Minka Kelly to be Wonder Woman instead of Dove, would that have worked? Because obviously Wonder Woman's a successful movie, but then no matter what her Lila Garrity's performance is going to be, it's always going to be compared to Gal Gadot's, and especially they're on at the same time.
I guess I would just say I think it's a different, like, as long as you're tackling it from a different angle, like how DC puts out 6 different Batman titles every week, and everyone buys
Sure.
all of them. So 10, like 6 of the 10.
But see,
Not
but the
only
difference,
that, though.
the difference with a
Top-selling.
TV show though is you're going to cycle through villains a lot faster.
Right.
Whereas in movie, and then if you get a great villain on a TV show, it's going to make you less inclined to want to see that on the
That's the
big
thing.
screen.
Everyone steals Batman villains. It's time
Yes.
for Batman to start stealing everyone else's.
Exactly, and
villains.
here's the thing though, like to piggyback off that, because again, you look at Arrow. We've all said before, Arrow is nothing but bootleg Batman.
Yeah.
Like I still remember that moment where he teams up with the Flash for the first time. He's like, "You understand my city? Things aren't like this in my city." I was like, "You live in fucking Star City. Calm down, calm down. It is
Right.
not Bloodhaven." And so seriously, so the thing about this was that like for Batman to get his own TV show, and here's go. I agree with everything you're saying, but at this point, it feels like when they try to do the movies, especially after Christopher Nolan, there's so much pressure there that them doing a television show would just kind of lower the stakes a little bit. It would allow them to have a little bit more fun. And the thing about this, though, this DC All Access is actually pretty dope. Like, the cool thing about it is they were able to put out a show that has all this maturity about it, and they don't have to worry about ratings or anything like this, because, again, if this was on the CW, most of Robin's fight scene we could not
Right,
show.
Well,
right.
Most of that fight scene we could not show.
For all of you guys that aren't subscribed to DC Universe, wait it out a year, and then it's coming to Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah, all the stuff that's on
Even on American Netflix?
American Netflix.
And so, wait, how long do we have to wait?
A year, then it's going to be on Netflix.
Cool.
All right.
I'll wait a year.
So, all of those DC
No spoilers,
streaming
everybody.
shows are going to be on Netflix in a year.
Yeah, right. We'll talk about Titans a year from now.
There it is. There it is.
Well, let's move on to our next.
Wait. Is there anything we're critical of with this, though? Anything
Titans?
anything that should be fixed.
Dick's personality.
Yeah.
I just because Bruce is a shadow, I feel like I don't understand why he's so mad. Like, why are you so mad, Dick? What did
that
Batman
has
do
to get
to you?
explained, though.
I hope so, because right now it's like
Just say it.
I didn't want to turn into him, and then
Yeah.
you see him like beat the crap out of the bad guys. So
Just
you're
a-
like, you were mad that Batman was too nice to the villains, so you wanted to be meaner to them. Is that what the problem?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
Just an angry little dick, right? now.
Exactly. Like that is probably the worst part for me.
I would say one thing is I don't love how they're streaming it right now. Because this thing, as I watched it, I was like, dude, I just kind of want to not call this out. Like,
Right,
they're kind of doing
right.
a Netflix show. Like, you've bought my interest. I'm on board for this. This week-to-week thing, I will lose interest with this. Because that's what happened with Runaways. Like, I watched the first, 3-4 episodes, but then after a while, it just kind of, went on and on. I'm just
I
like,
agree with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I think just drop them all
You
at
want
one
to have it in
time.
bulk.
And then to talk about the app, so for those of you who got the DC All Access app, again, I was watching titles with my, TV screen and everything like that. What do you guys think about the app?
I like the interface. I just don't like the fact that some of the comics aren't going to be there forever. They're going to be
Right.
gone in a month because they're curated. I wish that they were a little bit smarter and released a bunch of different shows that were exclusive to the streaming service at the same time, like this
Yeah.
Harley Quinn animated series and
And
like the
Young
Doom Patrol and
Justice.
Young Justice.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they have enough to sustain something like that.
That's
though,
the
yet.
problem.
Yeah. I think the problem with this, I agree with you. Here's the thing. I did like the comics because, again, I was watching this on my television, and I was like, wait, can I read comics on my TV? I can read comics on my TV. And all of a sudden, you can pick a mode where it literally goes panel by panel, and I was rereading the old Teen Titans Jeff
That's
Johns run,
awesome.
which was so sick to me. I was like, this is amazing. This is dope. But
So what do you have, like a Roku or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
but,
so cool.
But the problem with it was though is that, as you say, they're not going to be there that long. If DC, I was literally, as I was watching this, I was literally about to buy the app. But now that you told me that the comics would be leaving, that's what kind of makes it problematic for me.
They're always going to bring new comics.
But
in,
interesting
though.
though, had they just left the comics there, it would be sick. But for example, Batman Long Halloween is on there, which is sick.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's some other epic storytelling. Now, this is one thing that most people aren't talking about, but as a comic creator, I kind of feel like I need to bring up. So you guys know this, being from the world of Hollywood, you guys get residuals. So when the actors on a TV show, if they start streaming it or whatever, they still work out deals for the residuals of that, everything like that. Comics supposed to work in the same way, but the thing about this, the fact that you're putting this on this streaming service, how does that work now?
Are they going to monitor
Right.
it?
Exactly,
right.
exactly. Because then they're putting some classic storylines on there by some classic creators. So I'm just hoping they get theirs.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Johnny, you got to pull this first?
Pull
We got to
list.
fly through these next
Pull
three
list.
things.
Pull list. So yeah, so I have some cool things on my pull list this week. I read a couple different things. So first off,
I love that graphic.
Oh, where's my song?
Johnny's pulling.
That sounds like a dying dog.
We work with what we got. So first thing I want to talk about is Fantastic Four #2. So I talked about this about a month ago when Fantastic Four #1 came out, and Fantastic Four #1 really focused mostly on Johnny and the Thing, and it ends by setting up Reed and Sue's like storyline, their kids, and everything like that. Issue 2 builds off of that, and it's really cool. So pretty much the Reed and Sue are with the Future Foundation. You know, their kids and those alien kids are all super smart or whatever, and they're literally going through with the Molecule Man and creating the multiverse.
Was it Valerie?
Valerie, yeah.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about it is, so they're going through creating the multiverse, creating all these universes, and they're pretty much exploring them and whatnot.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden they run into a villain who has the ability to destroy the multiverse. And so, spoilers. As I told you before, this series is like really big, really revving up because Dan Slott's a big Fantastic Four fan, and so he's really bringing all the mythos and like all the cool sciencey stuff of it and all the like adventure. And when it ends, what's really cool is that Reed and Sue have to call for help, and so Sue's like, "Oh, good, you called Johnny and Ben," and Reed's like, "No, no, no. I called all of them."
Aw.
And they call all people who are a member of the Fantastic Four one time or another.
That's
so all
so
of a sudden
cool.
you
Bagman?
Huh?
Bagman?
Yeah. So Bagman, yeah. So you have Spider-Man.
my
You've
favorite.
got Ghost Rider. You've got Hulk. We got all these people. Who
That's
like,
so awesome.
dude, this is dope. And it just shows
Storm?
I'm not
Just
gonna
shows them all in, like,
spoil it.
one panel?
But low key though, like have them all in one panel
That's
towards
so
the end.
cool.
So it's really dope. So you're saying, I would say this is a great jumping on point right now. Fantastic Four is really
We'll
good.
do #1. It's only issue 2.
Yeah.
I know. But,
Go back to number
here's the thing: be ready to pick up issue 3 because I have a feeling it's going to be an epic fight scene. And we're going
Right.
to see a lot of cool characters. All right, my next series I want to recommend is called The Realm. So let me ask you
Realm.
this: do you like Game of Thrones?
I love.
Is
Game
this
of
about
Thrones.
is this about the douchebag guy that books Power Ranger actors?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
Why is this
Okay,
just
so-
like a
so-
combo of
so-
Westworld
I
and
didn't
Game
know.
of Thrones? I'm sorry.
Let me set it up. Had all this planned for a week.
I'm sorry.
You're fine. All right, so here's the thing. So, do you like Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you like Walking Dead?
Yeah. Not the TV show.
Okay. We're saying if you mash them both together, that's what the realm is.
Oh, okay.
So pretty much it's really cool. All of a sudden these portals open up and all these like orcs and dragons and stuff come out to our world, but we lose like a lot of our technological like advantages and everything like that. So all of a sudden people have to live in the world with orcs and dragons, and they like again society's trying to rebuild itself. All of a sudden you've got kings living in a Walmart, and you have guys who are like mages who are going out on missions and all this kind of stuff.
Hey man, I've always said that
That's
if
really
there was
cool.
a zombie apocalypse, there's two strategy-wise. There's 2 places I'd go first. #1, I'd try to get all my friends to go to Catalina because if we can lock down that island, we
Oh,
can,
there you
we
go.
can really.
Yeah.
#2, if we couldn't get there fast enough or couldn't find like a dude to drive a boat, I'd make sure we lock down like a Walmart or a supermarket.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always said at school.
School.
School?
But the only damn thing is downside about that is that with at least with the
Food
supermarket,
runs,
we could
yeah.
do. We could barter with some of that stuff to get other things to really fortify that.
I agree with you, but the reason I always said at school though is because the Walmart is going to get invaded by everybody because everyone's going to be
100%.
coming at
100%.
you. The cool thing that people don't realize about school is, especially schools in the inner city, they're built like jails, low key.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
I
look
teach you
like
one.
jails.
So they
Right.
put up high fences that people
Yeah.
can't get behind. There's a bunch of security doors, everything like that. Sometimes they have their own generators, so you can be self-sustaining. And the cool thing about this, people don't realize is there's a gosh dang cafeteria. That's a
Yeah,
used food
that's true.
supply
That's true.
of like
There's
perishables,
food
and
supply
there's
there. You're
actually
right.
every school actually has emergency supplies for earthquakes and things like that. So there's a bunch of survival
Well,
kits
now
too.
everyone's gonna go to the school. Thanks a lot, Johnny.
Yeah,
Will you-
I continue on this realm. It's good.
So yeah, so the realm again. It's
Who
a
makes
mash-
it? Image?
Image Comics, and it's really good. Like I read the first issue; it's been ongoing or whatnot. So if you're somebody again who likes Game of Thrones, you like Walking Dead, you want to see a mix of those two in the original comic form, it's a good pickup, and it's been selling really well.
And to not be confused, it is not about a guy with long hair with big giant bifocals that dances around that goes by the name of Realm.
And now,
So-
and so
Good
for my
to know.
next pick, here's the thing: I enjoyed last week when we talked about Catwoman, so I want to talk about some books that we
Oh,
can all
I
enjoy.
love this.
So I want to talk about
Have you
Tom
read this?
King's
Yes.
The
Oh,
Vision
it's
Run.
so good.
It is so dope. So here's the thing: let's just go down the line. We'll start with Joe. Why'd you love this series?
Oh man, it's phenomenal. This is how do you? It's almost like how do you get a domesticated Vision and make it interesting? Fucking read this. This is probably the best comic I've read in the last like 5 years. This series is so good. Tom King, did he win awards for this? I don't know if he did.
No, he got
if he
nominated for
didn't,
stuff, I believe.
he deserved it because there's some heartbreaking stuff in this.
It really is. It really is.
And I don't want to spoil it. Just go out and read it, please. It is amazing.
The cool thing about this is though it's only 2 trades, it's only 2 volumes. It's a quick pickup from Marvel. There's a bunch of like sales going on Amazon and whatnot, so you can pick up this whole series.
Oh,
All
make
right,
great Christmas gifts.
Tati, why
I
do
mean,
you love
yeah,
the series?
it's basically the same reason, just like Vision as a family man, and just like the question of like how are androids human, right? Like what is human about a non-human being? I think that this one really explores it better than many movies, shows, shows that like try to do that same concept. And it also just like fundamentally changes who Vision is as a character. You know, like you read the Avengers after this, or you read Champions even with Viv, and you see it all came from this run. It was just, it's kind of short, but at the same time it just changes the playing field for him.
But it also makes me want to read Tom King's Mr. Miracle now.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Miracle is so good. Are you not reading that
No,
one?
I'm waiting for it
That's
to be
on my
done because I know
pull
it's still like
'Cause,
ongoing.
Yeah,
So
I
once
hate
it's
that it's like been so long between issues,
Yeah.
but every issue is a masterpiece.
once it's
like
in
its own
trade
poem.
format, I'm 100% getting Mr. Miracle though.
Dope.
Yeah.
And so to give you guys the premise of it, Tom King's Vision run is pretty much as Joe and Tati just said. It's what if Vision wanted a family, and pretty much he builds his own. He uses the same technology that Hank Pym Ultron used for him, and takes brainwaves to create his own wife, his own children. And again, he's trying to domesticate himself. He's the Avengers liaison in Washington, so he has a day job. He comes home, he has neighbors, and his kids go to public school and like all these type of things because he just wants to live a normal life. But the whole thing about it, though, is also kind of like a strung out like love story in a way. Is he tries to live like this American dream lifestyle, but he also has reminiscences of Wanda, the one that got away, and he has all these like regrets and whatnot as he tries to establish a new family. And it kind of reminds me of, what was the name of that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio where he plays like this
American or something Revolutionary Road.
someone was like suburban and all
Yeah,
that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Revolutionary
Revolutionary Road.
Yeah, so it has all
Kate
those like
Winslet.
notes, but with a superhero element to it. So again, if you want to see a cool like meta like superhero story that's like off the beaten path, Vision is amazing.
And then read it as you're imagining Paul Bettany in your head.
No, don't do that.
Do it.
And just remember this though: if you enjoy this, again, it's only 2 volumes, so you can pick both of them up at your local comic shop or at Amazon or Barnes and Noble. And Tom King's currently writing Batman, so it's a great transition point if you want to check out what he's doing on Batman these days.
And Mr. Miracle, do not miss out because I'm definitely gonna pick that up. All right, we got to talk about Johnny's favorite TV show, Gotham. Bane got revealed.
See you tomorrow.
Someone earlier
God,
said
that looks
they
terrible.
watched Gotham for the villains, and I totally agree. The villains are the best part of Gotham. I don't know that this villain will be the best part of Gotham.
I'm in so much
I just want to
pain.
say, yeah, it looks like the Cobra Commander from G.I. Joe.
I mean, it looks like
looks
someone was
fucking
like,
terrible.
the cosplay theme for this week is cyberpunk.
yes.
Dark Knight Rises, but cyberpunk.
Yeah.
So,
Get this off my screen. We're not talking about Gotham any longer.
no, I don't know if Shane West is a great choice for Bane. I do love
Why
Shane
do
West.
I know him from something?
A Walk to Remember, is that what you know
Oh,
him
maybe.
from? And
There was
also
a TV
Nikita.
show.
Nikita. Salem. Oh.
no, there was a
You didn't watch
CW
Nikita
show.
and Nikita
CW?
Nikita, yes.
Maybe that was it.
with Maggie Q.
I'm
Sure.
so excited
Anyway.
though. I'm so excited.
You're excited for the Bane storyline, or?
Nope, it's the last season.
Oh, you're so
so
mean.
Yeah.
Gotham is
Out
not
of
that
work
bad.
actors.
Gotham
Yes.
started really bad, and then it grew into itself. Like now,
Yeah,
it's like if you
it
like
grew
Gotham for
like
its,
mold,
I-
it just kept going and
No,
smelling
if
and
you
getting
like
worse. Like,
Gotham,
oh God,
it's
it's in my
because it's
refrigerator.
doing its
Where's the
best.
baking soda?
it's
Josh,
doing
stop
its
eating
best. All right.
It is. But they just did come out and say it is the remake of Batman 66
Yeah.
from Modern Era. So there you go. Let's talk about the last story though
my
of the
gosh.
week. Wonder Woman is delayed. That is right. Wonder Woman is now getting a summer release. Now there's a lot of rumor and innuendo on why this is happening, but Warner Brothers said it's because they want to give a female superhero, a strong female character, an actual proper summer release. Guess what, Warner Brothers? You did that with the first one. So.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about this for a second. I think it's a brilliant move, though, because the real reason is because now they have faith in the Joker movie. Why would
Right.
you not? That movie looks amazing. I don't know what's going to go on, but I can't wait for it.
Because it used to be that there was a month apart, right?
Yeah, there were 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
So even less. Yeah.
Yeah, so now taking the spot of this movie is going to be the new Terminator film. But I can't wait to see this movie. Number one, the Wonder Woman movie is it's more colorful. We got great villains, and Patty Jenkins is back.
Nice.
So I
I
don't
love
think that I think she gets the character. She even has a better grasp on the actual DC universe than the people that are running the DCEU, I feel like.
For sure. That's not even arguable.
And Pedro Pascal's going to be in this movie
I do
as
love him.
Maxwell
Mhm.
Lord. I don't know if
I'm
that's been
very excited for
announced,
him.
but I don't care. He's playing Maxwell,
He's Maxwell Lord.
He is
Oh, okay.
Maxwell Lord.
Oh, nice.
Obviously, we got Kristen
Kristen
Wiig.
Wiig.
Kristen Wiig is
Yeah.
playing the Cheetah. Chris Pine is back. That's going to be interesting.
That is going to be very interesting.
I can't freaking wait. Listen, if any movie, any of the characters from the movies deserves to like stick around if they want to reboot this, it's Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Tatiana, give
Yes.
us your hot take on Wonder Woman movie.
I mean, I'm super excited about everything that's going on right now. I cannot wait to see, like, hopefully, I just hope that Chris Pine is not playing, like, a relative of Steve Trevor.
No,
It's just weird.
I heard he's actually playing Steve.
Okay.
Steve.
Because it's just weird when they do that. I don't like that. I
Or
don't
Hal
want a
Jordan.
Sharon
He's gonna be
Carter
playing
thing.
Hal Jordan. That'd be
There you
awesome.
go. No, but yeah, I trust Patty Jenkins. I just wish there was more women of color in Wonder Woman because there wasn't, like, any in the first movie, and I thought they were going to rectify that in the second, and they don't seem to have yet, but fingers crossed.
Johnny, real quick, give me your hot take on this.
Good move. Here's the thing. I'm looking forward to the movie, but I love the fact that he pushed it back because I said this before. Aquaman is getting some good juice. Like, think about this, though, because here's the thing. You put together a great director with an actor who's perfect for that role. So the thing about this is that it looks like that's a winning formula for him. The Joker movie, done with the small indie budget, as we talked about before, looks amazing. So it looks like right now DC's like, no. We don't need to rush anything.
Exactly.
We need to take our time, look at what's successful, and then learn from our successes and replicate them. So I'm loving the fact they're taking their time with this. I'm looking forward to it.
Johnny, last before we end off here, we have a couple minutes left. You want to talk about we have 2 shows that got canceled on Netflix, Iron Fist and Luke Cage. Both gone, both off of Netflix. Dunzo. But I fear not. I actually have a good feeling that it's because Heroes for Hire is coming to Netflix.
That's what I'm hoping for. Because you're saying when I heard Iron Fist was canceled, I was like, whoa! Self high five.
Right.
Dancing in
and
my
then
apartment.
Luke Cage was
Woo.
canceled.
And I was like, oh no.
Take it back.
Wakanda's not forever. No! And so the thing about this was that, like, it sucks that they got canceled like this, but at the same time, though, like, again, this is what I'm wondering. Is this, when they did this, is this an actual ratings thing? Were they setting up season 3s for these shows? Or is their plan to always go with Heroes for Hire?
I think that they knew that both of those shows were not on their last legs, but I think they have to change them up instead of being so formulaic. And I think the way you do that is Heroes for Hire next.
And you know what? If you want to have 2 shows, Daughters of the Dragon is right there.
I agree.
It is. And not only that, but they build up all those characters. Missy Knight is amazing. Colleen Wing has been built up great, especially watch the end of season 2 of Iron Fist. So it's come full circle. So people in the chat, I know people are upset about this, but I agree with Joe. That was my plan as well. Is that I think we're going to get Heroes for Hire. We're going to get Heroes for Hire done right.
Another reason they could be ending too is because the Disney streaming service is coming.
Yeah.
And they could just be
transferring over.
Doesn't Netflix have like the rights to...
They do have the rights to those characters, and they also said on the Disney streaming service that none of their content is going to be rated R. So it makes more sense for Heroes to Hire, unless they're doing kind of a revamped version of Heroes for Hire for the streaming service that's a little bit lighter, I guess.
Right, PG-13.
PG-13, I guess that's a possibility.
Yeah.
And honestly, it makes sense too, though, because the thing about it is that, like we said, like Luke Cage season 2 ends at this note where it's like Luke's kind of going on this dark path. The person kind of bring him back would be Danny.
Yeah.
And so putting those together would actually work out.
And that's maybe what we're going to get Heroes for Hire, but that's going to do it for us. Before we go, though, I do want to say this. One thing I didn't say in the Avengers 4 thing. You know who's going to be sitting on the throne of Wakanda? M'Baku. Wait for it. All right, guys. That is what we're going to be talking about. And next week, or just right after this show, if you're into horror, right now is the perfect time to be into horror. Check us out on Facebook at Horror and Beyond. Ro and Jezer are going to be talking all about Halloween. Not just their own personal Halloween plans, but the Halloween franchise. They both saw... Did you see the movie, Ro?
Yeah.
Ro saw the movie. Jezer saw the movie with us as he was on his phone half the time. But I know that for sure he saw the movie. But check them out there on Facebook. They're going to be talking all about it. So we're hoping that you guys will join them over there. They're also going to be talking about some creepypasta stories that would make great films. Now, what I want you guys in this chat to do is find your own creepypasta stories and let them know what you want to see turned into a film, and they'll give you a shout out on the show. Thank you guys so much for joining us this week on the Superhero News Network. Tatiana, where can everyone find you on social media?
Find me at Marcelazier on Twitter and on Instagram, on Valerie and Pettis on Tumblr, and you can find me on the Flash podcast and that hashtag show on Wednesdays doing Gingerdale.
Nice.
Johnny.
You can find me at JohnnyP313 on Instagram and Twitter, and find my books on Gumroad at JohnnyP313. You can also find me on Henshin Hangout with my Henshin bros, Jezer and Justin, talking about all things Henshin. And you can also find me maybe this weekend at LA Comic Con, kicking it with that hashtag show.
And you can find me right here at that hashtag show. I'll be on Saturday talking some Power Rangers with you. And that's going to do it for us, guys. You can find me on social media at that hashtag Joe. Thank you so much for joining us. Join us on the Horror and Beyond, the Facebook page, and on that hashtag show's Facebook page. Interact, because we love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button to stay up to date with everything trending
And geek pop culture.
You got it this time.
Yes,
You
I
got
finally
it.
did it.